See who we have here today, Madam Gold.
Hello,
Madam Gold.
Mr. Blue.
So last year I had the privilege of having Madam Gold on set. By the way, this is the director, Brevity Anderson, director of events, Brevity Anderson. She does amazing work. All around the world you travel. All you do is think, talk, plan events for Brevity Anderson. Yes. And we see the great works. People said that this year's event is remarkably different from previous years. Tell me what made this different from the other years.
So many things. There's so many changes happening around us, within us as well. So, and you know what change is like. It brings out the best in you. So we had to move, and we had to move quickly. So a lot of things, we're looking more commercial. There's always more. If there's more out there, I think we want to have it. We want to be it. Just by being individually the best of ourselves, collectively we make things better. So in essence, that's really what it is. We do our research, we travel, we see what there is, what are others doing, and then we create our own standards.
Fantastic. And by the way, maybe I should start off by saying congratulations, because N.I.E.S had the contract renewed.
Yes. That's super exciting. Yes, we're very excited. And it's like we're ready to roll now. Let the games begin.
Impressive. So what do you expect, what should we be expecting going forward from not just N.I.E.S now, from Brevity Anderson?
I think going forward now, we're a bit more confident in what we're doing. That yes, we have proved that we know what we're doing, and we're ready to do business. So moving forward, we're looking at doing more in N.I.E.S with international organizations, with other government organizations, bringing them into Nigeria and selling Nigeria to the world. So I think that's the next step now, is looking at how we can bring pavilions from countries, engaging more with the diplomatic corps, and we had quite a few of them attend as well this year. So that's the plan, that's the strategies, to do what we can to bring investment into Nigeria, create local content here, and then send it to the world.
Fantastic. I noticed very clearly that this year's edition of the Nigeria International Energy Summit was one that had a lot of young people, and also women participation. And there was a special women event, there was this Youth Idea Lab and all that. What's the idea behind it? Because really, when people talk about the oil and gas in the previous decades, it used to be serious-minded things, and people were, pretty much very high level in the industry. But this is speaking into the future and also looking at the high players. Why are you going in that direction?
You see, you're talking about energy transition. That's towards 2030. When you talk about the people who are going to be using energy when this transition does happen, it's not going to be the people who are here now. So we need to capture the youth right now and bring them into the room. They must join the conversation, because if we don't change their hearts and their minds and their understanding around energy, things wouldn't change. So that's why we're bringing them in and asking them the questions. Let them bring the solution. Let them bring their ideas. Let's see how we can commercialize them. That's the whole point of bringing and engaging the youth right now. With regards to women, you look back in history and you'd see any change that has taken place anywhere in the world, it is driven by a woman. So if you want to make the change happen, you cannot have the conversation without women. So we are bringing women in, not as a sideline, not to say, oh yeah, we're just ticking a box because SDGs say we should. No, we want the women to know that they have a role to play. I am a woman in energy. I'm proud to be a woman in energy. Whatever it is that I'm doing makes a difference. So hence the female-powered breakfast. Usually we would have a workshop, and we realized that taking them out of the main conversations to have a separate workshop for a whole day is again separating them from the conversation. So by having that standalone session where nothing else was happening but the female-powered breakfast, we found that the room, we were oversubscribed 3 times, and we had all the senior leaders in the sector present. And they were pleased to be there, and the conversations were real. So we're very, very happy that happened, and looking forward to doing more engaging work, because it's not just about meeting to talk, it's about making impact. it's the power of one. If one person can gather 30, another 30, how many more can 30 gather? And what's the move? What's the shift that's going to take place? How are we going to transit if we're all singing from the same hymn sheet? And I think that's what it's about.
Powerful. I noticed the Idea Lab. I went there particularly. I interviewed two women who were doing remarkable things. One producing biogas, and the other also producing fuel from jatropha plants. And I really think that that's projects that are scalable, and it's very difficult to spot ideas like this because most people are doing things in their corner and in those silos making remarkable improvements, but then they don't get noticed. So how were you able to get them noticed and brought them in here at no cost? Because they said this didn't cost us anything, and we've been able to even find people who are interested in our business, want to partner, want to fund. It's exciting.
I'm blushing, you see. I'm smiling. It is exciting. You see, last year we had the Youth Idea Lab, and we were so pleased to even have anyone, come forward to showcase. And we had 10 guys showcase, and it was men, just, guys. And I thought, for goodness sake, there must be girls out there who are innovative. There must be. Hence, we're having the Girls in STEM session this year, talking to the students from the secondary schools, because we want to get the conversation going from a very early stage. So we did a special call out on every single flyer. It was clear, I want to see female innovators, and they responded. So seeing them and seeing what they're doing. I mean, one of them has a whole ecosystem. I mean, if you can just empower, this is back to that power of one. If you can just empower that lady, that's a whole ecosystem of female economic empowerment that we've established just by empowering one. So for me, it's like if I didn't achieve anything else this year, just by giving her that platform for her to come forward, that's a win. I think that's a win. And I think we have to carry on doing these things because we don't know what gems are out there.
That's right.
We have to keep it going. So I'm very pleased that she actually had the courage to step forward. And I'm looking forward to working with her and seeing what we can do to push them all forward, really.
Yeah, that's right. And Latifa was talking about the need for funding. And being here is not just about showcasing that, but also the international community. The theme of the year is Global Perspectives for Sustainable Energy Future. So how do you intend to even take these little ideas and projects to the international community for possible funding?
I think it's capacity planning, really. So with the training programs that we run, be it mentorship, be it face-to-face, however it is, we have a few things in place to help them prepare.
That's right.
Like I said to you last year, it's not just about the product, it's also about the person.
That's right.
So we don't focus on one, we have to focus on both. So now that she's in the program, she can then start to work with us and our partners around developing her product as well as developing her as a person, so that she's prepared to then be shared as part of the group with the international audience that we have and generate interest. I know already she has received quite a lot of interest, but we do need to package her, like I mentioned last year, as Nigerian, to make sure she owns the IP, because what could happen is she gets lost in it, and I don't want that to happen. So we will do our due diligence to make sure that she is grounded and she knows who she is and her product as well, and then we can take her out to the world.
Fantastic.
So for biodiesel, it can power diesel engines already. It's been tested.
Wow. So in your plant right now, what's the quantity of this you're able to produce, and is it your essence of being at the N.I.E.S 2023? Is it what sort of help are you looking for? Are you seeking funding, or what in particular?
Yes, we currently have a production capacity of 1 ton per day, and my essence of coming here is to seek for a grant. In my pitch, I was requesting for a grant so that we can increase production capacity, create awareness for the biodiesel and the whole project, because it's a whole ecosystem right here. So we're trying to create a solution the energy deficit is huge, and this is a mix in the energy market. Nobody talks about biodiesel, so we're trying to create awareness. So currently, my clients are small business owners who use diesel engines to power their daily activities. And we're not able to commercialize right now because we do not have adequate raw materials to go commercial. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here. If I'm able to get funding, adequate funding, collaboration, partnership, cooperations, we'll be able to increase
scale.
and scale production. I've met a few partners already. People came to me who got interested by seeing this. A lot of people know this plan, but they don't know the benefits it has. And then I keep telling people that this is a green gold. So I've met one investor, I've met a government agency who is working actively in climate change. It's somebody I've been looking for, walked up to me,
Impressive.
and we're going to collaborate. In fact, he said to me in his own word, "You brought yourself out, we will now support you."
Oh,
like,
impressive.
I felt like I could just pack my things and go, because I've achieved my purpose of coming here, but there was still more in store for me. Today we had the pitch, and then we had more people coming in.
Okay, that's impressive. So, what would you really say is your expectation in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, considering that you've met a couple persons here? What would be the spin-off of this meeting for you?
Okay. So my projection is that in the next 5 years, we would have been able to establish a depot, a biodiesel depot in Nigeria, first of its kind, and we would have 6,000 women in our community who will be growing jatropha in the 6 geopolitical zones, and we would have biodiesel stations, just like you have fuel and gas stations in Nigeria. We would have 6 in each geopolitical zone of the country so that we can have more access, more people will be able to access the biodiesel, and we would have reduced CO2 by a minimum of 50% in 5 years' time with our project.
So, lastly, I really find what you're doing quite immutable, just because this year's theme of the conference is, global perspectives for sustainable energy future. What do you really have to say in that respect, considering what you're doing, really? It speaks to, having that global perception in trying to go green and make things a lot cleaner, and then also make energy supply more sustainable.
Okay, so there's a global demand for biofuels right now. We've had partners, people coming in from outside country. We've had someone come from Japan. They said, "Can you supply us 50,000 tons of jatropha biodiesel every month?" That's the market we've been looking for, but we do not have the capacity to meet the demand. So the world is looking out for cleaner fuels, and this presents us the opportunity to tap into the market. So this is sustainable because the jatropha 3 has a lifespan of between 35 to 40 years. So what is more sustainable? That's just one. So we have them grow all around. We have women, youths, farmers, everybody farming it. So it's always going to be available if we take it as serious as we in our targets towards net zero emission by 2060. Would have been able to provide a huge, we'll be able to bridge the gap in the energy needs of Nigeria and Africa at large, and as a matter of fact, the whole world.
Part of sustainability is also ensuring youth participation, I guess.
Yes.
So what do you have to say really about the youth involvement in research and also in developing the sector at large?
Okay, so apart from the Women Empowerment Program that I spoke about, we're developing a youth program. I call it 30BG. So we're planning to plant 30 billion trees in 5 years. with the youth population in Nigeria driving that. We all know the 30 billion gang. So I'm going to welcome them into the 30 billion gang. So it's not going to be 30 billion, the likes of Davido, but 30 billion trees. Let's plant 30 billion trees. We can do that. And who says we can't earn 30 billion naira, you know,
Possible.
or even in dollars, you know. So we're using a youth-based approach to get the youth involved, because the youth are the future of this country, and the youth, I think, also the future of energy.
That's right. So now, this Jatropha tree doesn't grow on all soil. Where in particular does it grow in Nigeria? Taraba, I think.
It grows on all types of soil.
Really? So why don't we have it everywhere?
That's the question I've been asking. So that's why I'm carrying out concerted efforts to get it to every corner of the country. So, like I said to you earlier, it is used to stop erosion. We use it for erosion control. So it means that even on eroded lands, you can still plant it and it will thrive. So it restores degraded lands. It stops desertification. So the benefits are enormous. So we're trying to have people, institutions, private entities come into this project by growing it. Let's have a lot of Jatropha in Nigeria. Let's Jatrophalize Nigeria.
Jatrophalize Nigeria, that's right.
Yes.
Quite impressive. I commend you so much for deciding to take the path that is less traveled by others.
Thank you.
And that's on the path of prosperity, being sustainable, you know, inclining to keeping the environment very safe and green. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that you do enjoy.
I want to specifically thank the Energy Idea Lab for this opportunity.
That's right.
Like I wouldn't be anywhere else for anything, for any reason. I want to thank you for this platform, and I hope that more youths, more people will take advantage of this opportunity to give themselves an international exposure.
That's right.
Because that's what I have gotten from this platform. I've gotten an international exposure. I've met people. I've been able to achieve my goal. I hope I get funding too from the platform.
Okay, thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Once again, congratulations. And I can't wait to see you go big, scale up, and you know, start making the billions of dollars.
Thank you. You'll be there to join the 30 billion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Latifa.